I've spent the last year playing every single Call of Duty campaign and analyzing them and determining whether they are quality or not. And I really have to say, there are some great COD campaigns and there are some not so good ones. And I decided today we would do the ultimate Call of Duty campaign tier list. These will be my opinions based on campaign only. It has nothing to do with multiplayer or any other zombies mode. That's not determined in the ranking here, what we do today. But if you want to hear my reasoning on any of these, if you disagree or where I placed your favorite Call of Duty game, you can watch my individual video that I made about said game. Also, not ranking anything before the original COD 4, so no Call of Duty 1, 2, or 3. It's just been way too long since I've played those, but everything from then on I have played and analyzed, and so we will be ranking everything from that game to Modern Warfare 2 2022. So just before we do that, quick word from today's sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by Morgan & Morgan. Look, here's the thing, chat, okay? Life happens. Accidents occur, and if you've ever personally been in a situation where you're like, hey, I might need a personal injury attorney, where would you go for that? You think about the process and you're like, damn, I don't want to sit through like all these meetings and do all this paperwork and just this really stuffy, terrible process. No, get all of that out of here. We ain't doing that anymore in 2023. It's probably one of the easiest things you can do if you've ever been in this situation. Well, I mean, just for example, your boy could have used one recently. You know, I was walking down the street, enjoying my day, just having a good time, and all of a sudden, a distracted driver who isn't paying attention, she's watching Jujutsu Kaisen TikToks on her telephone, hits me, and I go down. I break some legs, and I'm out for the count. More so than that, another passerby happened to cause a hazard in the road where I was walking, and then I go down again, and I fell down so damn hard, I ended up in the Family Guy death pose. You know which one I'm talking about. And this is where contacting Morgan & Morgan should be a no-brainer. It's incredibly easy in less than 8 clicks. It is a brand new 21st century law firm with very updated technology and infrastructure, and who will fight very, very hard for you to win. If you're ever injured or in an accident, you can submit a claim dialing #law. That's #529 on your phone. Otherwise, you can check out Morgan & Morgan using the link in the description, and thank you very much to them for sponsoring today's video.
Feeling like I'm back in college.
Let me make sure I have everything here. Is there anything like mainline Call of Duty chat? Is there anything missing here? So we got COD 4, BO1, MW2, MW3, World at War, AW, BO3, Cold War, MW2, Vanguard, World War 2, Ghost, IW, BO2, BO4, MW19, Modern Warfare 3. We already have that. BO4 doesn't have one. I am going to talk about BO4 in a second. I'm going to leave BO4 on this because I actually want to, like, I have something to say about it, so I'm actually going to leave it on this. Bro's going to use the operator missions. Nah. See, this is where you got all wrong. I'm going to start with COD 4. My take on COD 4 from playing it recently and everything. I mean, granted, I played the remaster, which is basically the same. Although, you know, there's slight differences here there. It's basically the same story, gameplay sequences as the original Call of Duty 4. And I have played that original one as well. I would say COD 4's campaign was meant to be like one standalone story kind of thing. Like, it wasn't necessarily made with other sequels in mind. So I think it works because it's like, it's just meant to be like one experience that's like really memorable. They're not worried about like, you know, keeping the brand running and making all these sequels and continuing things. It's not the most like intricate story or doesn't even have the most like advanced gameplay. I think it's good. I think it's a very good campaign. Is it great though? I can't say it's one of my favorite. I think it's fine. I may rearrange a few of these as we go if I like happen to, you know, change my mind a little bit. But I think for now, I'm going to say COD 4 is like a solid B tier campaign. It's good, fairly memorable. It's got some good moments, but it also has a lot of shortcomings too. And it's not even like, it doesn't do anything that's like insane or that doesn't like hold up super well in modern. I think it's perfectly adequate. Doesn't do anything bad. It just doesn't wow me. BO1, chat, how do we feel about BO1? I think I know where to put it already, in my opinion. Okay, the thing I'll say about BO1 is gameplay wise, it does a lot of things in its like gameplay structure to complement the story. Some campaigns feel like they're like already thought through gameplay sequences and missions, like the concept of just like what the gameplay should be like, and then they like overlay a story on top of it. Whereas BO1, it feels like the gameplay was made for the story and vice versa. I think the story was also made for the gameplay. I think I'm probably gonna say it's S tier because I think the way it does like its non-linear storytelling is really interesting. I talked about that in my whole video. It's extremely memorable. I mean, like literally the characters that were introduced in BO1 are like still the shit that's being sold and reused in Call of Duty now. You know, like Woods, Mason, etc. All the stuff from these campaigns is what people rock with. Probably one of Treyarch's best campaigns. I don't think people would debate that a whole lot. I think BO1 is very solid. I think I've made my case for that in my video as well. And it also one more thing I will say about BO1 is that they never tried to like make Black Ops 1 again. I'll get to Cold War in a minute, but they nailed BO1. There's no fluff to it. It's just like everything is really deliberate. It has like no fat on the edges. Like it's so to the point, and I love it. And they never tried to like, they just let it be what is. They never tried to like recreate it or like, you know, capture the lightning in a bottle again. I think they just like nailed BO1 specifically, but I'm a big fan of it. So I'm gonna put it S tier. I don't think anybody has a problem with that. The original Modern Warfare 2. I will say I love this campaign. It has some holes. It's not immaculate. I think it has one of the best like villain introductions and or like motivation setups for their characters, and I also think like the set pieces in which the game takes place are really unique. Cool, fun scenarios that were actually very topical at the time of when this came out. Actually, no, I would say it was fairly innovative. Compared to COD 4, I think they actually made some big innovations. It's MW2 to MW3. I didn't think as many big jumps were made. I honestly can't say it's S tier though. Like S tier was reserved for like the best of the best. I think MW2 is really damn good, and even after playing it again recently, I still feel that way. But it's not the best thing ever. Pretty A tier. I'm gonna say A tier here. Very, very good. Doesn't make a whole lot of mistakes at all. Gets a lot right. Has a great ending as well. And a good setup into their next game. So, I'm happy with A tier. Modern Warfare 3 though, I have mixed feelings on this one. Those of you who watched my video probably like know some of my criticisms. It feels like they didn't know what they wanted to do with this campaign, or it was like they know how they wanted to end it, but the rest of the campaign is like filler to get to the last bit where, you know, where you like confront Makarov. So it's like, I explained it a lot more in my video, but I think this campaign suffers from not really knowing what they're doing. And also its gameplay doesn't really match the innovation that COD 4 to MW2 had. It's fine. And also, you know, it's complicated. We all know all the crazy stuff that was happening with IW and Sledge during the creation of MW3. So it kind of makes sense that it's scuffed. It's clearly not the original like intent for this game, or it didn't come out the way they wanted to. It's not bad, but it's not great. I'm gonna say B tier. MW3 is a B tier campaign. Like, one of the things I made fun of is that they reuse the like the breaching sequence so much, and that's what I mean when I say like they just don't know what they're doing. It ends fine. I think the ending's the best part about this campaign, but to get there you have to get through a lot of like nothing. You got to get through a lot of fluff to even get to that moment. Not perfect, but it's okay. I'm gonna say B tier. Not outright offensive. Call of Duty World at War, chat. I'm gonna say World at War is probably the best out of this list specifically. I mean, I guess there's not a whole lot of contenders in that, but in this list specifically, this is the best World War II campaign. Why? It's complicated, and you can go watch my video. Okay, but going to the locations in World War II that we typically don't see, that's kind of like what Vanguard tried to do, but didn't quite do it the same way. But Vanguard, I'll get to that later. I think World at War has good gameplay for its time. Chat, I mean, you play it now, the gameplay is very dated, to be honest. I mean, to be expected in some sense. It is very dated, but I think its storytelling is really excellent, and a lot of its gameplay does actually hold up with time, although not all of it.
He's not even Chopper.
MW2 remastered same tier as OG MW2?
MW2 remastered same tier as OG MW2? Wait, oh, do you mean like the remastered campaign? Yeah, I would say the remaster for COD 4 and MW2 respectively are probably in the same tier. I'm not ranking them just because, like, I don't know, I don't really want to, like, you know, mince words like that, but I think I'm gonna say S tier, though, still. because its atmosphere is incredible. Yeah, I agree with you. Atmosphere, absolutely nail it. Story is okay. Like, I think one side of the story is stronger than the other, and that's fine. But I like the structure they have. And also, it doesn't waste your time. And again, just like BO1, very, like, to the point. And I think they nailed it as far as, like, making, like, a World War II campaign feel like, you know, a little gritty and, like, a little atmospheric. I don't know. I think, and also I love its ending. I think World at War is probably an S tier for the time. It is dated, yes, but I will still give it S tier, I think. You know, the gameplay that feels dated is a tank mission. Nah, man, I actually disagree with that. I mean, yes, it is dated, but I actually think the tank mission in World at War is still better than the tank mission in World War II 2017. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, chat. Okay, where would y'all put AW? I think I know where I want to put this already, but I'm curious. Where would y'all put AW? Visually, it's still one of the best looking COD campaigns. You know what's crazy, chat, is like, I don't know what it is, but AW is still Sledgehammer Games' best looking Call of Duty game. That includes Vanguard. That includes World War II 2017. AW is so good looking, even for being on like the older gen on like the PS4 and stuff. I think its visuals are a massive jump from anything like Ghost was doing, or even BO2 for that matter. BO2 looks good, but for a different reason. So technically, just on like a visual level, AW really works for me. Story is fun and respectable, but has some kind of dumb stuff in it and isn't like super, and it really falls apart at the end. I think AW could be A tier if it didn't have a scuffed ending. Like the end, like those who've seen my video will know, the ending of Advanced Warfare is not how it was supposed to end. Like Irons running away for no reason, then doing the whole thing on the building, that was not supposed to happen. It was supposed to be like Irons like offs himself basically in front of your face. It would have been a way more shocking and like memorable ending, but instead they couldn't do that and they had to just like slap something together. If I had the original ending, I'd probably put it A tier, but I think I'm happy with it at B tier. It's definitely rushed, the ending. Yeah, it falls apart at the end, but good setup, great visuals, also really fun gameplay situations too. Very unique. It has a lot of unique ideas going on, but again, if it didn't fall apart at the end, I'd definitely bump it up another tier. But it's fine. It's a little rushed. It's okay. Black Ops 3, chat. We finally arrived. I made the case in my video that this was also clearly not what they wanted to do. I know the original plans for this campaign, and it's not what this was supposed to be. At least not in the same way. They wanted to do like a shared world from Destiny, or like, you know, similar to that. And they tried to go for it in their like co-op campaign stuff and like all the systems. What I will give BO3 credit for is it tried a lot of really interesting and new things. I am going to give it some points for going out of its comfort zone and not just phoning it in. It feels like it's trying to do something different, especially with its story. Like, it feels like it's trying to do something different. The story has a lot of dumb shit in it, to be honest. Like, a lot of it, even understanding the full story still isn't great. And if you want a whole explanation of that, please watch my video about it. Oh man, I'm between C and D tier, chat. It's not bottom of the barrel for me, because again, I can respect it trying to do something a little different. Did it work? No, but they tried. I'm gonna say, I mean, I'm in a good mood. I almost want to put it C tier, but you know what? I'm gonna put it, chat. You know what? I'm gonna put it C tier. It's less than adequate. It's not very good, but it had a lot of potential. It just, they did not reach it. It didn't get there for a lot of reasons. I think C tier is pretty fair. The train do go boom though, chat. Let's just say, chat, with BO3, everyone just say, with Black Ops 3, the only way to sum it up is Dylan Stone. He's kind of the GOAT for real, you know what I'm saying, chat? He kind of the GOAT, right? That's crazy. That is a hard C tier rating for me. BO3 is good. I like its ideas, but we move. Cold War. I like Cold War. I played it very, very recently, actually, so it's pretty fresh in my memory, and I actually remember liking it quite a lot. Now, it's different because, like, a lot of the design was done by Raven, interestingly. And that's kind of why it is not very heavy on gameplay. Like, chat, if you play Cold War, There's not much like point and shoot gameplay in this at all. There's a little bit, has a lot of cool like adventure game mechanics, and they tried to like toy with the idea of multiple endings and stuff again. I can't say it's S tier. I'm gonna say A tier. Chat, I'm giving it A tier. A bird made Cold Wars campaign? Nah. Oh, I mean, yes, actually, you're kind of right, but a good bird made this campaign. I'm a fan of it. Again, it's not, but it also was like, you know, very much held back by COVID as well. Like, that was one of the things that absolutely, definitely was a factor in like the not huge amount of volume of content. But I would say the content it does have is pretty good. That's the case I made in my video. I think like what it does have is pretty good. There's not a whole lot of it. It's fine, but it's not like, it's not S tier. It's okay. The KGB mission is top tier. Man, I agree with you. I forget what it's called, but someone's gonna remind me in chat. I forget what that mission's called, but dude, I agree. That's one of my, there's like no point and shoot gameplay at all in that mission, and it's so fun. You know the one I'm talking about, the undercover mission and the KGB thing where you're like sneaking around, you got to do a thing. You got like 100 different ways you can do it. It's so much fun. Yeah, and it also has like, I would say the thing that holds the Cold War campaign back though, to be fair, is your choices don't really matter until basically the very end. And even then, the endings aren't like stellar. You have one ending for shock value, which in my opinion is still kind of a sloppy ending. You have the like mid ending, and then you have like the canon and or good ending. Not quite as nuanced as some of these other campaigns, I think, that do multiple endings, which we'll get to. It's fine, and again, given the constraints, I understand it. It's very good though. It doesn't get a lot wrong, so I'm happy to put it like A tier. MW2 chat. All right, this one might be a little controversial. Where are y'all putting MW2 at? I gotta know. I think I know where I'm gonna put this one. And those of you who watch my video know how I feel about it. Chat, I have to be honest. I was very let down by this campaign. Sorry, I should clarify. New MW2. This one. Modern Warfare 2 2022. This one, I was severely let down. I think gameplay-wise, it really struggles. I don't know what they were doing exactly. The gameplay misses the mark on so many ways. Like, I went on a whole rant about it in my video, but the AC-130 mission is genuinely one of the worst missions in COD. The car stuff, also not great. I get they're trying to do a little bit of new things, which I gave BO3 credit for, and also the story is very underwhelming and kind of mid. It's more complicated than that, but I didn't like this campaign very much. Do I put it lower than BO3 though? Honestly, maybe, chat. This is my preference, but I'm not saying it's better, but I'm going to say BO3 at least had a more interesting campaign than MW2. Not that it's better, but I think it was more interesting. I'm putting this one D tier, I think. Might be controversial. Go watch my video if you want my reasoning. I didn't like it very much. I'm going to say MW2 2022 is pretty mid tier. Also, yeah, was it just me the campaign way more difficult than other campaigns? I think they tuned it to be that way. I didn't like it. I'm going to say D tier. Kind of wild I'm putting BO3 over it, but BO3 at least... okay, here's the thing. With BO3, I was at least entertained. Yes, it sucked, but I at least was kind of entertained by what was going on. MW2 put me to sleep. So for what that's worth, they both are terrible, but at least I was awake during one of them. Infinite Warfare. Chat, where y'all putting IW at? Now, we all know how much, like, shit this game got before it came out. This game got absolutely demolished when it was revealed. However, this is before anybody played the campaign. I'm curious what you guys think about this, genuinely, if you've played it. I already know where I'm putting it, actually. I'm kind of just doing this for for y'all. So what I will say is about IW, it has some very interesting, like, design ideas, I think. They have this cool thing, and I didn't really know it until after I played the campaign. But if you play on, like, I think if you beat the campaign once, you may have to beat it on better. I don't remember. I think if you beat the campaign once, you get access to this thing called, like, realistic mode, and then, like, you have to, like, manually heal, or if you, like, get shot in the arm, you can't use that arm, or, like, if you get shot in your, like, suit, you, like, leak oxygen. Like, it adds this whole other layer to the gameplay that you don't get playing it normally, as most people like one and done it. Not to say that like sets it apart single-handedly or anything, but also I will say that the missions are very unique. The set pieces are awesome. I like space in general, so I have a soft spot for the set pieces and everything. And the plot is not that interesting, but the characters hard carry this campaign. The characters hard carry this one. I'm saying S tier. I think it's a top-notch campaign, chat. It has really damn good characters, man. The plot isn't the most interesting ever. Also, chat, I'm in the campaign. I'm the main villain of that campaign. I forgot to, that's also why it's S tier. I'm a little biased. I'm a little biased a little bit. I'm in the campaign. I'm just playing. Call of Duty Ghost, chat. Chat, where y'all putting Ghosts? Now, this is another controversial one here. I'm gonna wait y'all to vote first. I think it's next to my least favorite campaign ever. I think it has one of the most boring stories, some of the worst characters, and probably some of the most like unmemorable gameplay. I hate the ending as well. So I dock a lot of points from this one. It has okay. Here's my main problem with it. Ghost should have its own tier list. It shouldn't even, like, it needs its own like category. Yeah, I mean maybe. Thing is, like, I would be more okay with this campaign if it wasn't trying to be so serious. Like, there's a lot of really goofy stuff in this campaign. Like, a lot of really silly things. Like the dad, this whole time you were one of them. There's a lot of really silly stuff. And, like, also, like, I actually watched it the other day. I was rewatching part of my video. I need to go back and get something. And I saw the bit. Chat, you know the mission in Ghost where you're tied up, you got captured by the Federation, and then, like, you get saved, through, like, a sniper through the window. There's a moment where, like, you steal their guns, like their rifle, but, like, one of the Federation soldiers, I'm nitpicking here, but it's really funny, but, like, he acts like he has no gun, even though he has, like, his character model has, like, a pistol on his leg, and he just doesn't take it. It's like, it's just stuff like that. It's really goofy, man. Everything about this campaign is goofy as hell, and the characters suck, and the dialogue is really clunky, and the story's boring, and the gameplay is very unmemorable. But the problem is, it takes itself so damn seriously. If it was self-aware goofy, I would actually probably put it like C tier maybe. But because it's so serious, I'm gonna say it's F tier. It's close to MW2 for me. The only thing I'll give MW2 above Ghost is that it looks nicer. That's about it. Also, yeah, Ghost looks horrible too. It's not a very good looking game either. It doesn't really score any points for me, to be honest. Like, anyways, BO4, not really much to say about here because, again, it doesn't have a campaign. But the career mode that it may have gotten, I guess I can't really rank BO4. Mode could have been interesting, but I don't think, like, they're trying to do a BO3 situation where they're trying to be quite experimental. They weren't phoning it in like MW2 2022 was, where they're just, shoveling out a quick single player just to do it. They were trying to genuinely innovate here. Yeah, there's a tier list, or there's a category for it does not have. I'll just put it in there. It would have been cool. The only reason I kept BO4 on here is it would have been like kind of cool to see what career mode was really all about. I don't think it would have been amazing, but would have been interesting for sure. I'll put it in does not have. Chat, Call of Duty Vanguard. What are we saying, chat? I think Vanguard is the worst campaign. Didn't play, but based on your video, it's below Ghost. To me, I think it's the worst campaign in the series. As far as mainline campaign goes, there's so much wrong with it. If I talk about everything that's wrong with Vanguard, I will be here for an hour. At that point, you gotta just go watch the video because I make my argument much more clear there. It is a horrible campaign. The writing squad we have for it is like, I talk about it in the video, but it's really funny in terms of like who actually put this one together. And it kind of makes sense when you put it in that context. It is worse than the original BO3 campaign though, for sure. Because at least, again, BO3 is bad, but it was at least entertaining. I was bored during Vanguard, and it was also terrible. All right, I'm gonna do Modern Warfare next. MW 2019 chat. Again, might be I'd be curious what you guys think about this. I think this campaign is I'll say firstly, what I like about it is it isn't trying to be COD 4, where I feel like MW2 2022 in a lot of ways is trying to be MW2. I know that doesn't make a lot of sense, but you know what I mean. This game is not trying to be COD 4. It's kind of doing its own thing. Is it amazing? No. It looks nice. The story's kind of mid. The characters aren't great. Chat, the characters aren't quite as good as something in like IW. Maybe it's not a fair comparison, but it's not quite there. The plot isn't really there either, but it feels like they're trying to do something kind of different. It's pretty solid. It's better than Modern Warfare 2's. Okay. I think I'm going to be nice and put it B tier. I was going to say C tier, but like I had a decent time with it, and I think it's fine. I'm going to say B tier. It's like in this like, you know, very solid, unremarkable middle ground for me, where these ones are. I think B tier is a fair ranking. It's good, man. If you haven't played it, give it a try. It's entertaining for what it's worth. It's not like life-changing. It's fun. Not the most innovative thing in the world. It's pretty straightforward, but it's a good straightforward experience. And again, genuinely feels like they're trying to do something else or like new things, novel things with it. So I like it. B tier. World War II 2017. What do we think, lads? Y'all think World War II C tier on par with BO3? Hollywood movie vibes. F tier. Couldn't bring myself to finish it. It was so boring. Yeah, I can't say it was very entertaining. There's a lot of missions that are really bad in terms of like what was going on. The tank mission in this game is not fun. There's a lot of missions that I feel like are just very sloppy. It's mediocre. The story's very like Band of Brothers. And that's fine. It's adequate but very forgettable. I don't like the characters. This campaign I think really banks on you like liking the characters, just like the Vanguard one did too, but for different reasons. Plays it very safe, I agree, but it's kind of a slog to get through. Also, there's not really a whole lot going. I haven't really talked about it for a lot of these, but some of these games have like interesting out-of-game systems. Like, you know, BO3 has a lot of out-of-game systems. I don't like them, but they're there. Infinite Warfare has some out-of-game systems. That has like side missions, you know, a little bit of like cool creative class stuff going on. It's like integrated with the story. You go down to like the firing range and stuff to like make your loadout. That's kind of cool. AW has a similar thing going on. You have like exosuit upgrades, stuff like that. I just think it's very unremarkable. Play it safe and doesn't do anything super cool. I'm between C and D tier. I'm gonna say C because I'm gonna say C tier. I'm just leave it at that. I think it's okay. It's not even like above average. But hold on to it. All right, chat. Where is the BO2 campaign for y'all? For me, no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, I'm playing. I'm gonna say BO2. I don't even really gotta think about this one. I'm kind of trolling y'all. I'm gonna say BO2 is S tier because this felt like something that they worked on really coming together. It felt like it's not perfect, mind you, but it felt like they had one vision on this one, and I like the implementation of multiple endings here. I like it more than Cold War because, again, Cold War doesn't really matter until you get to the very, very end. And it's, like, pretty obvious what the answer should be anyways. BO2, like, to get, like, the best ending, you have to, like, do really weird, obscure things that's kind of fun. Like, you have a little bit of creative class stuff happening, too. The story is decent. It's pretty good. I really like Raul Menendez. He's one of my favorite villains in COD. And I think they do a great job, like, presenting him here. I like the flipping back and forth between the two, like, time periods as well. Like, with Mason Woods and that stuff. And then, like, cutting to the future. That's pretty fun. It keeps it visually interesting and, like, very entertaining. There's really no fluff either. I will dock some points from BO2. The strike missions are filler. You might like them. That's fine. That's perfectly okay, but let's not kid ourselves. The strike missions in this, you actually have to do them to get the really good ending, but they're filler. They're not quite as like, you know, they're not quite as like really carved out as the main missions are. And in my opinion, they're not that fun. They're fine, but I will dock a few points from BO2. Not enough to take it out of S tier, in my opinion, because it does so many other things right, but it's not flawless, but it's like really, really good, man. They are optional though, different ending. Yeah, right. They are optional, but in order to get like the good ending, yeah, you do kind of have to do them. But yes, they are optional. You're right. But I think it has a lot of neat ideas and again, a great villain. Probably the best villain in Call of Duty, period. So I think it's S tier. Yeah, I think this is like my overall ranking, chat. Again, they're not exactly like, they're not ordered in terms of individual ones. I think I don't want to mince words too much like that, and that'd probably take too long. But I would say, yeah, I'm probably satisfied with that list. BO1, World at War, IW, and BO2 are S tier. Those are the top of the line for Call of Duty. And then A tier, I'm gonna say, yeah, the old Modern Warfare 2 and Cold War. COD 4, MW3, AW, and Modern Warfare 2019. This is what I would say. Like, this tier is like, B tier is not bad for me, chat. B tier, in my opinion, I would say is like average. See, again, my reasoning is like BO3 is such an anomaly because I think a lot of people are going to put this F tier, which is totally fair. They tried to do some incredibly interesting things with this one. Did it work? No. But an attempt was made to not just like, you know, like chat, because think about it. Treyarch could have easily just been like, oh, let's make Black Ops 2 again. You know what I mean? Or let's make World at War again. Or even BO1. They genuinely try to push the envelope and do something totally new. Modern Warfare 2, I might being a little harsh on. I don't know. Maybe I would put a C tier. I don't know. This is between C and D for me. If there was a category between these two, it would probably go there. But I'm gonna have to say D tier because it is like trying to be Modern Warfare 2 2009 without understanding what made that game work and all of the interesting things that MW19 set up. MW2 threw away. Chat, if Dylan Stone is BO3, where's Hassan is MW2. Ghost and Vanguard, I think, are the bottom two of the series. Again, Ghost has some, if we're putting our nostalgia aside for a second, like some of the least memorable things going on in it, some of the least memorable characters for good reasons. The ending sucks. The game looks terrible. It's not very fun. I hate almost everything about this campaign, and I did not enjoy my stay. Vanguard, same deal. Probably the worst campaign in the series. I think this is my ultimate tier list, chat. This is how everything stacks up for me. Let me know what you guys think. And yeah, we might do a multiplayer tier list or a zombies tier list. But as far as campaign only goes, this is where all the games fall for me. If any of you guys haven't played them, I recommend playing all the ones in S tier. So they're pretty great. But yeah.